Hello everyone and welcome to this new video of the Lexit Founders Series. Today we have yet another top blockchain entrepreneur, Cyrus Fazel, the CEO of Swissborg. Swissborg was a very famous ICO in January 2018 that has raised a considerable amount of money for a considerable project that they have. Cyrus, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Emily. It's a great pleasure to be with you.
So maybe, can you explain a little bit what Swissborg is and what you're trying to achieve?
Right. So Swissborg, essentially, it's a wealth management platform that is really relied and backed on blockchain's technology, so smart contracts, and as well as a philosophy, making something meritocratic and accessible to everyone. So in some way, it's giving back empowering our community, making sure that anyone who wants to get access to big wealth management products and services could do it via our platform and via our network.
So pretty much you're democratizing wealth management, actually. It's not only for the 1%, it's for everyone now.
Exactly. We all work for the top of the pyramid for a vast amount of time, over a decade for most of us on average. So working rather for top hedge funds or private banks or investment banks. And then we said, why would you work for the top of the pyramid when you can flip it around and actually work for 7 billion people? So I think so. We really, our mission here is really, bringing in wealth management and accessible to everyone and making it on a community-centric values.
Mm-hmm. So, there is a lot of talk of, crypto investment being a bit too risky for traditional investors or for private investors. Do you think maybe this is a bit too risky for non-accredited investors and maybe you're kind of inciting people to make investment they can't afford?
Well, I mean, obviously, the first thing as investment, number one rule is to make sure whatever you invest, you'll be able to lose it, right? That's the number one rule, because if you're not able to lose it, well, then eventually, you get into emotional state that we don't want to go there. So is crypto risky? Yeah, it is. But on the same time, look at it last year. It did 33x, and the stock market hasn't done 30x for the last century. So in consideration of volatility and reward, it's still one of the best, actually it is the best investment market in the world. And does that mean you need to put 50% of your wealth? Definitely not. But there's a very easy study we've done, which is that if you have invested in the last 5 years in a bank or in a robo-advisor, 50% you had to put in stocks, 50% you had to put in bonds. You had to made it roughly, 6 to 7%. If now you have done the same thing, but you've added 2% of Bitcoin, so 49% of stocks, 49% of bonds, and 2% of Bitcoin, you would have made over 13% rate of return. Taking in consideration, 2014 was the worst year of Bitcoins when it dropped over 90%. So again, when you go to investments, anyways, everything becomes risky. I mean, even right now, if you're investing in a Swiss franc at a bank with a bank account, you're losing actually money. And who has, more solid background than the Swiss National Bank? No one. So you're always taking risks. I think so. The great thing about crypto is that you're getting a huge reward out of it. And on top of it, you're holding actually the private key. So it belongs to you. If tomorrow someone's taking out no one could take out the right of that instead of a fund or bank whatsoever.
So if I understand, you're using crypto as a tool for diversifying your portfolio. On top of a traditional portfolio, you add a little crypto, which doesn't add too much risk, but still adds a lot of return.
Exactly. So just as I said, you're doubling actually your returns out of the last 4 or 5 years, while you're just taking a very small amount of risk out of it. So it's a great thing. And on top of it, the great thing about it, just more as an investment class, is the philosophy behind it, which is that you're actually holding it. You don't have any more counterparty risk if you hold Bitcoins or if you hold any other crypto within your wallet.
Mm-hmm. All right. And I think you raised around 50 million francs in January. Congratulations for this.
Thank you. Yeah.
So this is a very ambitious project, very ambitious platform you want to launch. What is the state of development right now after your ICO?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's a lot of ICOs going on. Very few of them reached the hard cap. We're very fortunate of reaching the hard cap, which is awesome. Over 23,000 people have participated in 149 countries. which is particularly in every country in the world. So, we're really, really, gracious and humble about it. We did institutional tokens in February, and since then we've been really focusing a lot on governance, recruitment. We are making sure that we're really hiring the best people out of our 4 different locations that we have today. So, which is Lausanne, the number 1, Japan, Tokyo, Toronto, Canada, and now we have just opened the London, UK office. So,
actually last week. Very good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, really a lot of it was regarding the governance. And, the great thing I think so far we have proved is that we already have a utility of our token, which was to participate in the first referendum that happened already 3 months ago. And the people, did vote through the blockchain and get rewarded, because that's what we do with our meritocratic systems. And whenever everyone provides help provides sufficient content or data to our network, then it gets rewarded. And this was the first case where people voted for the referendum and got rewarded. So that was the first thing that went through well. We have now the ICO platform 2.0 that is on. It's pretty much on par. We're quite happy with it. So we'll be organizing two different ICOs quite soon for partners, companies that we really like and enjoy. That will happen over the summer. So that's pretty much ready. And the third part, which is, I would say, which is on our DNA, really our print, which is really investment management. We're creating this new robo-advisor platform, which is a smart wallet. So essentially what you have is that you'll have a wallet where you'll feed the wallet with your ID, but then after you'll feed it with crypto or fiat. Based on that, you would then pick into different investment themes, and it will replicate you a portfolio of this different investment theme on different exchanges. So in a short sentence, you upload your ID. Second, you put fiat or crypto. Third, it creates you a portfolio of crypto assets it's quite well diversified, and that does automatically rebalancing and everything. So we really want to democratize as well the investments of crypto for everyone. We know very well that my mother, it's quite hard for her to understand, to get to file in different exchanges and getting all the private keys right and all that. So we really want to make sure that we have a grandmother UX, and that people could really facilitate their appetite to get into crypto.
I think it's a very good metric. Does your mom understand it or not? I think this is the best metric.
Exactly. It's always that. And that's why my mom says, I always ask the same question, like, so mom, what do I do? She's like, so you guys are like a bank, but you have community and you're very nice and cool. And thanks to blockchain, it's super transparent and it's easier and better. I'm like, that's it.
Oh, that is just so cute. Thank you so much, Cyrus, for sharing this with us. So actually, your mom is not the only person who thinks Swissborg is a great company. Have you received offers to be bought after your ICO and after everything you've gone through, everything you've achieved?
Yeah, I mean, first, with Swissborg, before we had the blockchain ecosystem, which was just a robo-advisor for traditional assets, I had over 50 meetings with probably VCs, private investor, angels, whatever. And never of them went very through to get a ticket. And now it's funny, when now we have money, everyone wants to put in money. It's always the same thing. We took some few meetings. We had very interesting meetings with some of them. At our stage, we don't need cash. And more importantly, we don't want to evaluate and have a considerable, let's say we don't want that our equity in our company is very valuable. We always want to make sure that the essence of our value is in the CHSB, to make sure we're favorizing really CHSB token holder and not any equity investor. So our company as of today has no external investors. It's all people that are part of Swissborg, which is quite cool. And I think so going forward, we'll never do the Series A, B, C, IPO, whatever. Eventually, so I think so. It's a lot of people always don't understand why we're not doing that. I think so. It's just that we want to make sure our CHSB token holders, which is the token of Swissborg, is the central value, and everything has to go through to CHSP token holders. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds great. And so this series of videos is part of the Lexit Founders series. So Lexit, in just a few words, is trying to create this marketplace on blockchain where you can do M&A, mergers and acquisitions, and you can buy and sell IP, intellectual property. So it would allow you to buy companies or just part of companies on this marketplace in a really easy to understand manner, kind of like Airbnb. You can compare everything.
Right.
So I think it's very nice that you have this loyalty towards your community, that you don't want to sell parts of it because it would be detrimental to the token holders. But maybe, have you ever thought of acquiring part of another company to complete what you're trying to do at Swissborg? I guess sometimes it's easier to buy something than to build it. Have you ever thought about this?
Yeah, at first I think so that the marketplace your guys are building, it makes a lot of sense. We through tokenization of all the hard assets, we will need more and more different spaces that has this great ecosystem, because a network is something that works well with the community, but the end game is that you have to create an ecosystem where you have different players, and these different players interact between each other through different tokens. And we have already tried to participate in already 2 different companies. We failed to do so. We got at the end that there was a mismatch between what we expected and what we were given, or more on the philosophy or on the hard work. So actually 2 of our deals already went south. But going forward, we're still looking forward. We're right now in talk with one great company we've met recently, and they have already working products, or they have a great track record of building great technology. And of course, we at Swissborg, we always think the same thing. We're an ecosystem. Whoever wants to be part of the ecosystem, we'll make sure that if it's valuable, well, then we will pay the person, or buy out the company, or just participate in it to make sure we have some control out of it, and it could then be useful to our token holders. Yeah.
Good. And so those companies you're in talk to, and how did you find them? How did you don't have to say specific names, or
No, of course.
but yeah.
I mean, at the end, we're not many people. I mean, everyone thinks that, there's 1,000. Yeah, there's probably 1,000 ICOs or whatsoever. There's 1,000 technology companies, but there's not so many good ones. So, it just comes to, what's our different products, right? We have this smart wallet that's going on. For a smart wallet, what do you need? You need a wallet. Then after, what do you need a financial engine. That means a portfolio management software, a management system, execution management system, right? For an exchange that we want to build, you need a matchmaking engine. You need a different user interface, right? For the digital IDs that we need, you would need to work with people already providing that service, right? And there's already great people doing that. So you don't need to reinvent everything. You just have to make sure that rather than making partnerships with these people just through, whatever partnership you think makes sense, or if not, by for technology that is more on the financial engine, I think so we really need to, go hand in hand. So it's not just a quick partnership. It's more like, okay, you have to do that. And again, there's very few ones that are on the table, and it's just you get to meet them through bright people who come to you. Like BitGo was an example. How did we meet? How do we did our partnership with BitGo? We have no financial whatsoever relation with them, but we have a strong partnership with them at the moment. And how do we meet them? It's very easy. We knew that Gemalto, it's a very great French company, and they're very good in cybersecurity. Obviously, they're working for the military states and everything. And they has well created all the technology behind the ledger, right? So then we're like, okay, how do these guys are all doing these great microchips and all of that, but they don't have any software? So we called up Gemalto and we said, guys, why don't you have a software that could manage our backend of ICO? Like, oh, actually, we might have someone we're working with, and this and that. It's one of our partners. And then the guy said, yeah, have you ever heard about BitGo? Back then, no one knew who was BitGo. And now it seems like they're one of the big players. So we were very fortunate to start with them and have a good relationship with them. And so that's how we think it goes. I think so.
Okay, so it seems like it kind of goes through relationships and the people you know, and to be connected to people, actually. You need to be connected and have the contacts.
I think so, yes. And then, the second approach, that, I mean, the contacts, no, because Gemalto, we didn't know anyone, just LinkedIn it and, you contacted. The second one, yeah, you definitely work with network. But the third one, which works very well, is through academia as well. So, we're more and more really fortunate to be in Lausanne, and we have people from APFL that are with us, obviously. And, through academia, it's also a great way because they have great, think tanks and labs over there. So it's a great way. There's a great startup ecosystem as well here in Lausanne. So I think so. It's just, through networks, people you meet, and then other partners that we have that are using solutions and say, oh, we're working with these guys. But same with Jumio. Jumio was another example. We didn't know who would be good for KYC or for AML. So we just digged into every service provider. Why did we chose Jumio? Because they were not the cheapest, but they're one of the best. They work with, the big guys, and we're like, okay, let's do it with these guys.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I think this really helps our viewers, to really understand how you can get into this field, how you can get connected in this, how you can create those partnerships. And I think, Swissborg is going to be great. You know what I think about it. And
Thank you.
I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Likewise. Looking forward to see you next time.
Thank you. And maybe you'd like to add, a final word before we stop the interview?
Yes, I mean, to all our CHSB token holders, thank you for being awesome. And for those who don't know us, this is the logo. This is the Swissborg, and just do a .com and check it out. Please go on Reddit as well. We have a Swarm Intelligence community platform over there. So if you want to participate by doing any great content, you get upvotes, downvotes, and then you get tokens out of it. So again, thank you so much for your time, and for all the listeners, and to you as well, first, Midi. And looking forward to have another chat.
All right, thank you very much, Cyrus. And thanks to our viewers to watch this video of the Lexit Founders Series. We hope to see you at the next one. Bye-bye.
Peace.